Amidst the cold void of space, where silence reigns supreme, the unthinkable happens. A diplomatic mission is obliterated in a storm of fire and fury. With humanity's pride shattered and their place in the galaxy challenged, one question echoes across the stars. When the underestimated rise, who dares to stand against them? As alliances crumble and war ignites, humanity must prove that survival is not their only talent. They know how to finish what others start. In the cold emptiness of space, the starship Eclipse met its tragic end above Havoc Prime, its destruction transforming the serene orbital expanse into a chaotic spectacle of fire and debris. The ship's final moments were both visually breathtaking and harrowing, with fragments of its once proud frame dispersing like fireworks, a grim juxtaposition to the solemn cries of its doomed human crew. These cries echoed faintly across emergency communication channels, a haunting reminder of the lives lost in a calculated and ruthless attack. This was no accidental skirmish or random act of aggression. It was a deliberate statement. The Eclipse, an unarmed diplomatic vessel, was destroyed without provocation, a heinous act that disregarded both diplomacy and humanity's efforts to integrate into the broader galactic community. This unthinkable violence was not only an assault on the ship, but a direct attack on humanity's dignity and place in the galaxy. In the War Council chamber back on Earth, this shocking event ignited a storm of emotion. Admiral Marcus Vore, his face set in a mask of fury, slammed his fist against the reinforced table, his voice seething with anger. "They killed a whole human being," he snarled, his words cutting through the suffocating silence of the room. The Eclipse's destruction wasn't just a loss. It was a challenge, a brutal assertion that humanity's lives and presence in the galaxy were expendable. This insult, this calculated act of dismissal, could not go unanswered. The Eclipse incident became the spark that would light the fire of retaliation, galvanizing humanity into action and marking the beginning of a new chapter in its fight for survival and respect among the stars. Humanity's entry into the galactic stage had been anything but smooth. For centuries, Earth and its colonies had faced crises ranging from environmental catastrophes to devastating wars. By the time humanity clawed its way into interstellar travel, it was a species battered but unbroken. Despite this resilience, the galaxy's dominant powers, the more advanced and long-established civilizations, viewed humanity as little more than an emerging, insignificant newcomer. This perception was not born solely out of arrogance, but was deeply rooted in the Galactic Assembly's rigid hierarchy, where seniority and technological superiority dictated influence. The disdain shown by the galactic community was a constant obstacle. Human delegations were often sidelined in discussions of interstellar policy, their input seen as irrelevant. Trade negotiations were stacked against them, and alliances were rare, as most species considered partnerships with humanity to be a waste of time and resources. To the galactic elites, Earth's history of adversity was not a mark of strength, but a sign of its limitations. A planet too scarred and a people too fractured to be taken seriously on a cosmic scale. The destruction of the Eclipse was a culmination of this dismissive attitude, an event that highlighted the galaxy's willingness to treat humanity as expendable. It was a unique insult, crossing a line that even humanity's fiercest critics rarely dared to breach. The message was clear. Humanity's place in the galaxy was conditional, and even its diplomatic efforts were not immune to ruthless disregard. This was a turning point, a stark moment of realization for humanity. In the War Council, this simmering resentment came to the surface. Captain Elena Cade, a seasoned officer who had seen firsthand the trials of humanity's expansion, spoke with quiet determination. "They've been testing our limits for years," she stated, her words heavy with both frustration and resolve. "But targeting a diplomatic mission crosses the line." Her statement encapsulated the simmering anger of a species that had endured humiliation after humiliation, only to find itself once again underestimated. For humanity, the Eclipse incident was more than a loss. It was a challenge to their right to exist and thrive in the galaxy. This was not just about vengeance. It was about reclaiming dignity and proving to the universe that humanity's struggles had forged an indomitable spirit. No longer would they accept the role of the galaxy's overlooked underdog. This moment marked the beginning of humanity's journey to force the galaxy to recognize their strength and resilience. The destruction of the Starship Eclipse was a turning point for humanity, an act of aggression so egregious that it could not be ignored. As the eclipse's debris spread across the void like a grim fireworks display, its crew's final cries echoed through the emergency communications channels. It was a moment of profound loss, but also one of awakening, a catalyst for a species long dismissed to re-evaluate its position in the galactic hierarchy. In the War Council chamber, the gravity of the incident hung heavy in the air. Admiral Marcus Vor's fury, expressed through his clenched fists and words, encapsulated the shared outrage felt across Earth and its colonies. "This is more than simply an assault," he snarled, his voice reverberating through the chamber. And he was right. The attack on a diplomatic vessel was not merely a military act, but a blatant disregard for humanity's sovereignty and the sanctity of interstellar diplomacy. It was a brazen insult that demanded a response. What made the Eclipse incident particularly unique was the clear intent behind it. Diplomatic missions, even during times of heightened tensions, were typically considered off-limits by unwritten galactic conventions. The deliberate targeting of an unarmed vessel carrying representatives of peace was a message. Humanity's voice in the Galactic Assembly was irrelevant, and their attempts at diplomacy were futile. This wasn't just an attack on human lives, it was an attack on their dignity and their right to exist as equals in the galaxy. Captain Elena Cade's unveiling of damning holographic evidence further solidified the need for action. The image of a Grayan vessel, unmistakably firing on the defenseless Eclipse, left no room for ambiguity. The clarity of the footage silenced any doubters and shattered any illusions of misunderstanding. In that moment, unity began to form among the human leadership. Disparate voices, once fractured by political divisions and varying priorities, coalesced around a single, undeniable truth. Humanity could no longer afford to stay silent. The incident also galvanized public opinion across human colonies. News of the attack spread rapidly, igniting a fire of indignation among citizens. Protests erupted, not against their leadership, but demanding action and accountability. People who had once viewed interstellar politics as distant and irrelevant now saw the attack as a direct affront to their identity. For the first time in generations, humanity, spanning multiple planets and cultures, stood united, bound together by shared grief and the demand for justice. The eclipse became a symbol, not of humanity's fragility, but of their collective strength and resolve. Its destruction lit a spark, transforming centuries of frustration and dismissal into a singular determination. Humanity was no longer content to plead for respect or wait for recognition. They would take it. The loss of the eclipse was a tragedy, but it also marked the beginning of a new chapter, one where humanity would no longer be underestimated, and their place in the galaxy would be carved out through courage and resolve. The Grayan hegemony, a long-established power within the Galactic Assembly, had grown increasingly aggressive in recent decades. Known for their conceit and their belief in their own superiority, the Grayans viewed themselves as the natural leaders of the galaxy. They operated with an aura of entitlement, leveraging their technological advancements and military might to exert control over weaker species. Humanity, still considered an emerging player on the galactic stage, became a target of their disdain. The eclipse incident was not an isolated event, but the culmination of years of testing humanity's limits. The Grayans had consistently pushed boundaries, using subtle forms of economic pressure, territorial encroachments, and veiled threats to probe human resilience. Each act, though provocative, had been carefully calibrated to avoid outright war. Until now, the destruction of the eclipse represented a bold escalation, signaling their belief that humanity would either back down or crumble under pressure. The Grayans' actions were emblematic of their growing confidence, fueled by a period of unchallenged dominance in the galaxy. Following the last major interstellar conflict, they had emerged as one of the primary victors, consolidating power and forging alliances that made them almost untouchable. Their fleets, armed with crystalline technology capable of devastating firepower, were the most formidable in known space. Their political influence was equally pervasive, with half the galactic assembly aligning with their interests, either out of loyalty or fear. This hegemonic arrogance, however, underestimated humanity's history of survival and resilience. While the Gryans viewed humanity as fragmented and fragile, they failed to grasp the depth of humanity's tenacity. Earth, despite its history of environmental collapse and external invasions, had risen time and again from the brink of destruction. Each trial had strengthened humanity's resolve, fostering ingenuity and adaptability that were unmatched in the galaxy. The Gryans' overconfidence was their weakness. Their assumption that humanity would submit to intimidation blinded them to the possibility of a unified and determined response. In dismissing humanity as a lesser force, they ignored the latent power of a species that had mastered adversity on their homeworld and was now spreading that resilience to the stars. The Gryan hegemony's aggression also alienated other species in the galaxy. While many remained silent out of fear, there were murmurs of discontent among those who had suffered under the Gryans' dominance. Humanity's defiance had the potential to inspire resistance, disrupting the balance of power that the Gryans had worked so meticulously to maintain. The growing threat posed by the Gryans was not just a challenge for humanity, but a test of the galaxy's willingness to confront unchecked power. Their actions served as a reminder that tyranny, no matter how entrenched, would always face opposition. For humanity, the Gryan hegemony's aggression was an opportunity, not just to defend their place in the galaxy, but to redefine it. Humanity's resilience had long been its defining trait, a force forged in the crucible of countless adversities. From the environmental collapses of the 21st century to centuries of wars and struggles for survival, humanity had proven time and again that it possessed an unmatched ability to endure, adapt, and thrive. The destruction of the Starship Eclipse was yet another test, one that demanded humanity rise once more to confront the challenges of a hostile galaxy. In its early years of space exploration and galactic interaction, humanity was often dismissed as a fledgling species, a people scarred by their troubled history on Earth. The galaxy saw a fractured species that had barely recovered from centuries of ecological degradation, global conflicts, and resource scarcity. Yet, what was perceived as weakness by other civilizations became humanity's greatest strength. Survival against insurmountable odds had honed their ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability. Humanity's advancements were a testament to its determination. From developing efficient, resource-based economies after the environmental collapses to creating cutting-edge technologies like adaptive AI and advanced railguns, humanity demonstrated a relentless drive for progress. Earth's scars became lessons, its ruins the foundation for innovation. Colonizing harsh planetary environments and constructing self-sustaining orbital habitats further underscored their capacity to not just survive but thrive under pressure. This unyielding spirit extended beyond technology and infrastructure to humanity's collective psyche. Overcoming adversity had fostered an unshakable resolve and unity among its people when faced with external threats. Despite internal divisions and differences, humanity had a unique ability to rally under a common cause, especially when their survival was at stake. The eclipse tragedy galvanized this resolve, turning a moment of mourning into a rallying cry for justice and retribution. The resolve of humanity was also evident in its willingness to take calculated risks in the face of overwhelming odds. Where others might hesitate or cower, humanity often chose to stand firm, leveraging ingenuity to level the playing field. This defiance, even when outnumbered or outgunned, caught adversaries off guard. It wasn't about recklessness, but about an unyielding belief in their ability to carve a path forward, no matter how dire the circumstances. Additionally, humanity's resilience was deeply rooted in its history of unity through diversity. With people from every corner of the globe contributing to a collective effort, humanity's strength lay in its adaptability and wide array of perspectives. This diversity allowed for innovative solutions to complex problems and cultivated a deep-seated empathy that set humanity apart in the cold, indifferent expanse of space. It was this empathy that fueled their determination to protect their people and their place in the galaxy. The Graian hegemony failed to account for this spirit. They saw humanity as fragile, still burdened by its turbulent past. What they missed was humanity's ability to turn pain into power, loss into motivation, and hardship into a catalyst for greatness. The Graian's aggression only strengthened humanity's resolve, setting the stage for a fierce retaliation that would remind the galaxy of the indomitable nature of the human race. In the face of the Eclipse incident, humanity's unyielding resilience became not just a story of survival, but a declaration of intent. They would not be cowed, silenced, or destroyed. The tragedies of the past were reminders of their strength, and the battles ahead were opportunities to prove, yet again, that humanity's place in the galaxy was not given. It was earned. Humanity's response to the Graian assault was not impulsive, but a carefully orchestrated strategy rooted in experience and determination. Faced with a technologically superior enemy and overwhelming odds, the human leadership knew that brute force alone would not secure their survival. Instead, they crafted a multi-layered approach that leveraged their unique strengths, adaptability, innovation, and an unwavering will to fight for their existence. At the heart of the response was a swift mobilization of resources and personnel. Factories across human colonies transitioned overnight into wartime production hubs, churning out weapons, armor, and autonomous battle drones. This industrial transformation demonstrated humanity's capacity to unify under threat, as entire planetary economies pivoted to support the war effort. The ability to adapt quickly, even under immense pressure, was one of humanity's greatest assets, allowing them to close technological and logistical gaps with remarkable efficiency. Simultaneously, the human fleet began to reposition its assets strategically. Stealth frigates and destroyers, designed for rapid deployment and covert operations, were moved to critical sectors. The deployment of these ships showcased humanity's focus on asymmetric warfare, targeting the weaknesses of a larger enemy force rather than engaging in direct confrontation. The integration of adaptive AI into their drone fleets exemplified this approach, enabling human forces to exploit vulnerabilities in real time. Leadership played a pivotal role in shaping the response. President Evelyn Zhang's steadfast resolve and measured approach ensured that humanity did not act recklessly in the face of provocation. Her insistence on a deliberate yet forceful retaliation emphasized humanity's dual goals: defending its sovereignty and maintaining its moral high ground. Admiral Marcus Vore and Captain Elena Cade, seasoned military leaders, translated this vision into actionable strategies. Their coordination ensured that every move was calculated to maximize impact while minimizing unnecessary losses. The initial engagements were designed to demonstrate humanity's resilience and capability, rather than achieve outright victory. By focusing on precision strikes and coordinated fleet maneuvers, human forces aimed to destabilize the Graian fleets while showcasing their technological ingenuity. This strategy was evident in the deployment of experimental weapons, such as the Edge of the Horizon's rail cannon and the Nova cannon, which combined devastating firepower with tactical finesse. Each strike was a message, not just to the Graians, but to the entire galaxy. Humanity would not be underestimated. Another critical element of the strategic response was psychological warfare. Humanity understood that perception played a significant role in galactic politics. By turning the Graians' aggression against them, exposing their willingness to attack diplomatic missions and unarmed ships, humanity garnered sympathy and potential allies within the Galactic Assembly. Even if direct military support was unlikely, shifting the narrative in their favor weakened the Graians' position and isolated them diplomatically. Despite their successes, humanity's leaders were acutely aware of the risks. Retaliation risked escalating the conflict into a full-scale war, one that humanity was outnumbered and outgunned to win in conventional terms. Captain Cade voiced these concerns, acknowledging the challenge of facing an enemy with overwhelming numerical superiority. Yet her decision to strike fast and strike hard encapsulated humanity's strategy, leveraging decisive action to disrupt the enemy's momentum and create opportunities for future gains. This strategic response was also deeply rooted in humanity's history of survival. Earth had faced numerous existential crises, from environmental collapse to foreign invasions, and emerged stronger each time. This experience informed their approach to the Graian threat. Resilience and ingenuity in the short term, combined with long-term planning to ensure sustained resistance. It was a delicate balance between survival and defiance, showcasing humanity's ability to navigate complex challenges with pragmatism and resolve. In the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's strategic response was a masterclass in leveraging limited resources for maximum impact. By focusing on adaptability, innovation, and unity, they turned a devastating loss into an opportunity to assert their place in the galaxy. The Graians' attack on the Eclipse had sparked a fire they could not extinguish, as humanity's calculated and unyielding retaliation proved they were a force to be reckoned with. The edge of the horizon was more than just a warship. It was a symbol of humanity's ingenuity and adaptability. As the flagship in the critical battle against the Graian fleet, this sleek vessel embodied cutting-edge technology and the determination of its crew. Under Captain Elena Cade's command, the edge of the horizon became the linchpin in a desperate yet meticulously executed counteroffensive against the Graian forces. The Graian attack began with overwhelming precision and firepower, targeting humanity's defenses with violet energy lances. Despite their numerical superiority, the Graians underestimated the resilience and tactical acumen of the human fleet. The edge of the horizon absorbed the initial assault with its robust shielding, maintaining its position at the heart of the battle. Captain Cade's strategy relied on buying time for the rest of the fleet to regroup and launch a coordinated counterattack. Her calm under pressure and unwavering resolve inspired her crew to hold the line. What set the edge of the horizon apart was its advanced weaponry and defensive systems. Its shields, while tested under intense fire, held strong long enough for the ship to deploy its most potent asset, a swarm of autonomous war drones. These drones, equipped with adaptive AI, represented a key element of humanity's strategy. Unlike the Graian forces, which relied on brute strength and traditional fleet tactics, humanity leveraged these drones to exploit real-time weaknesses in enemy formations. The drones darted through the chaos, disabling enemy vessels with surgical precision and causing significant disruption to the Graian fleet's cohesion. As the Graian shields began to falter under the relentless drone assault, Captain Cade ordered the deployment of the Edge of the Horizon's experimental rail cannon. This massive weapon fired a tungsten slug at near-light speed, delivering a devastating blow to the Graian lead cruiser. The shot not only destroyed the target, but also sent shockwaves through the enemy formation, forcing them into disarray. This moment marked a turning point in the battle, as the human fleet seized the opportunity to press the attack. However, the Graians were far from defeated. Their reinforcements arrived, including a colossal dreadnought armed with an arsenal of molten energy weapons. The Graian dreadnought's arrival shifted the tide of battle, as its overwhelming firepower began to decimate human ships. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Cade made the bold decision to engage the dreadnought directly. She ordered the Edge of the Horizon to redirect all power to forward shields, preparing for a head-on confrontation. The climax of this confrontation was the deployment of the Edge of the Horizon's Nova Cannon, an experimental weapon capable of immense destruction. While the cannon charged, the human fleet continued to focus their firepower on the dreadnought's forward shields, creating a narrow window of opportunity. The Edge of the Horizon executed evasive maneuvers to avoid catastrophic damage, demonstrating the crew's skill and discipline under Cade's command. When the Nova Cannon was finally ready, Cade issued the order to fire. The weapon unleashed a dazzling beam of energy, piercing the weakened shields of the Graian dreadnought and striking its crystalline core. The resulting explosion was both catastrophic and decisive, scattering debris across the battlefield and crippling the Gryan fleet's morale. This victory underscored the effectiveness of humanity's strategy, precision strikes, innovative technology, and unyielding resolve. The destruction of the Gryan dreadnought marked a significant victory, but Captain Cade remained composed. She recognized that the battle was not yet over, as remnants of the Gryan fleet continued to pose a threat. Her decision to hold back the human fleet from pursuing the retreating Gryans reflected her strategic mindset. By allowing them to retreat, humanity sent a clear message. They were capable of both decisive action and measured restraint, further solidifying their position as a formidable force in the galaxy. The battle involving the edge of the horizon was a testament to humanity's ability to adapt and innovate in the face of overwhelming adversity. It demonstrated that their strength lay not only in their technology and tactics, but also in their indomitable spirit. Through this tactical triumph, humanity reaffirmed its place on the galactic stage, proving that they were no longer an emerging species to be dismissed, but a resilient and resourceful civilization capable of standing against even the most powerful adversaries. The arrival of the Gryan dreadnought marked a turning point in the battle, introducing a formidable new threat that could potentially tip the scales against humanity. This massive vessel, with its crystalline hull glowing ominously in red light, symbolized the apex of Gryan military engineering. Its arsenal of molten energy weapons and nearly impenetrable shields made it an unparalleled adversary, one that could obliterate human ships with ruthless efficiency. For Captain Cade and her fleet, it became clear that the battle's outcome hinged on neutralizing this colossal warship. The dreadnought's devastating power was immediately evident as it unleashed a barrage of molten energy beams. These beams, a hallmark of Gryan weaponry, sliced through human defenses with surgical precision. Smaller escort ships exploded in bursts of brilliant light, their remains scattering across the battlefield. Despite their advanced shields and tactical maneuvers, the human fleet struggled to withstand the dreadnought's relentless assault. Its weapons didn't just destroy, they sent a chilling message of Gryan dominance and technological superiority. Faced with this overwhelming force, Captain Cade exemplified humanity's core traits: resilience and ingenuity. Recognizing that conventional tactics would fail against the dreadnought, she shifted all power to the edge of the horizon's forward shields, preparing for a direct confrontation. This bold decision underscored Cade's leadership and her willingness to take calculated risks to protect her fleet. By engaging the dreadnought head-on, Cade aimed to buy time for her crew to execute a plan that would level the playing field. The crew of the edge of the horizon worked with precision and urgency. Lieutenant Monroe's updates highlighted the grim reality of their situation. The dreadnought's power signature was far beyond anything they had encountered before. Yet, amidst the chaos, the Nova Cannon, humanity's experimental superweapon, became the cornerstone of their strategy. This weapon, designed for unparalleled destructive power, represented a last-ditch effort to overcome the Gryan dreadnought's seemingly insurmountable defenses. As the Nova Cannon charged, the dreadnought continued its merciless assault. Another human destroyer fell, its destruction underscoring the stakes of the confrontation. Yet, Cade remained resolute, her commands sharp and unwavering. She ordered the remaining ships to isolate the edge of the horizon while focusing all firepower on the dreadnought's forward shields. This strategy exemplified humanity's ability to coordinate and adapt under pressure, as even in the face of devastating losses, they remained united and focused. When the Nova Cannon was finally ready, Cade gave the order to fire. The resulting beam of energy was a spectacle of raw power, piercing through the dreadnought's weakened shields and striking its crystalline core. For a brief moment, silence enveloped the battlefield, followed by a massive explosion that scattered debris across the void. The destruction of the dreadnought was a monumental achievement, turning the tide of the battle and delivering a critical blow to the Gryan forces. The victory, however, was not without cost. The human fleet had suffered significant losses, and the destruction of their ships served as a grim reminder of the stakes involved. Yet, the triumph over the dreadnought demonstrated humanity's unyielding spirit and capacity for innovation. It was a testament to their ability to confront and overcome seemingly invincible adversaries through courage, teamwork, and strategic brilliance. The destruction of the dreadnought sent shockwaves through the Grian fleet. Their once coordinated attack disintegrated into chaos as uncertainty and fear spread among their ranks. For humanity, this moment was more than a tactical victory. It was a statement. It proved that no matter the odds, humanity could not be broken. The battle, though far from over, had shifted decisively in their favor, leaving an indelible mark on the galaxy's perception of their strength and resolve. The destruction of the Grian dreadnought marked a pivotal shift in the battle, triggering a chain reaction that unraveled the Grian fleet's coordinated assault. The once dominant enemy, who had entered the battlefield with confidence and superior numbers, now faced chaos and disarray. The explosion of their flagship, the dreadnought, sent shockwaves both literal and figurative through their ranks, signaling a critical blow to their morale and strategy. For humanity, this moment encapsulated their resilience and unyielding determination to defy the odds, no matter how insurmountable they seemed. As the Grian fleet faltered, their disciplined formations began to crumble. Ships that had once moved with precision now broke apart, their captains scrambling to regain control amidst the confusion. The once overwhelming tide of Grian vessels, armed with state-of-the-art weaponry, now appeared vulnerable and disorganized. This shift wasn't just a tactical advantage for humanity. It was a psychological turning point. The Grian forces, long accustomed to asserting dominance over weaker opponents, now found themselves on the defensive against a species they had underestimated. Humanity's response was deliberate and calculated. The human fleet, led by the edge of the horizon, pressed its advantage with surgical precision. Their drones, equipped with adaptive AI, exploited every weakness in the Grian fleet's fractured defense. Larger human warships delivered devastating broadsides, further disintegrating the Grian offensive. Despite the urge to pursue and annihilate the retreating enemy, Captain Cade exemplified discipline and foresight by holding her fleet back. "Let them run," she commanded, her tone calm but resolute. This decision underscored humanity's understanding of the long game. They had made their point, and unnecessary aggression could provoke further conflict. The Grian retreat was more than a tactical withdrawal. It was an acknowledgement of humanity's strength. For a species that had long dismissed humanity as an emerging power unworthy of serious consideration, the battle was a humbling revelation. The sight of the Grian fleet scattering into the void was a moment of vindication for humanity, a clear message that they were no longer a vulnerable newcomer to the galactic stage, but a formidable force capable of defending their place among the stars. On board the edge of the horizon, the bridge erupted in cheers as the Grian ships retreated. For the crew, it was a moment of catharsis, a release of the tension and fear that had gripped them throughout the battle. Yet, amidst the celebration, Captain Cade remained composed. Her measured response reflected a deep understanding of the stakes at play. This victory, though significant, was just one chapter in a larger struggle. "We've made our point," she reminded her crew, grounding their elation with a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. The victory carried profound symbolic weight. It demonstrated humanity's ability to not only survive but thrive under pressure, proving wrong those who doubted their capabilities. The Grian retreat wasn't just a tactical success. It was a moral and psychological triumph that redefined humanity's standing in the galaxy. The battle showed that provocation came at a cost, and that humanity, while reluctant to start wars, was more than capable of finishing them. In the aftermath of the battlefield was littered with the remnants of destroyed ships, both human and Grian. The debris served as a stark reminder of the costs of war, even in victory. For humanity, this moment of triumph was bittersweet. They had prevailed against a powerful enemy, but the sacrifices made to achieve that victory weighed heavily on the survivors. Still, amidst the wreckage, one truth remained clear. Humanity had proven itself unbreakable. The Grian retreat signaled not only a victory for humanity, but also the beginning of a new chapter in their journey, a chapter where they would no longer be underestimated. The aftermath of the battle against the Gryan fleet left a battlefield strewn with wreckage, a graveyard of shattered vessels and lost lives. For humanity, the victory was hard-won, but it came with a somber understanding of the costs of war. The void was filled with the debris of both human and Gryan ships, a testament to the ferocity of the conflict and the sacrifices made by those who fought. Yet, amidst the destruction, one truth shone through. Humanity's resolve had not only survived but had been tempered into something unbreakable. Back on the edge of the horizon, Captain Cade surveyed the scene from the bridge, her expression stoic yet reflective. The cheers that had erupted after the Gryan retreat had died down, replaced by a quiet determination. The crew, though exhausted and battered, carried themselves with pride. They had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious, proving their mettle against one of the galaxy's most formidable powers. Cade's leadership had been instrumental, her calm decisiveness and unyielding commitment guiding the fleet through the storm. She knew, however, that the battle was just the beginning. Across the human colonies and Earth itself, the news of the victory spread rapidly. Factories that had been churning out warships and supplies didn't cease their operations. Instead, they intensified their efforts, recognizing that the conflict with the Gryan hegemony was far from over. The destruction of the Gryan dreadnought and the rout of their fleet were significant blows, but they also marked the escalation of hostilities. Humanity had sent a clear message to the galaxy. They would not be intimidated or marginalized. However, the Gryans were unlikely to forget this humiliation, and retaliation seemed inevitable. Admiral Vor, speaking from his fleet stationed at the edge of the conflict zone, echoed Cade's sentiments. "This victory," he said in a grim address to the War Council, "is a turning point, but it's also a warning. The galaxy will see this as a declaration of our strength, and our enemies will respond in kind. We must remain vigilant." His words underscored the precarious balance humanity now faced. They had risen to the challenge, but the path forward was fraught with danger. President Evelyn Jang, addressing the Galactic Assembly in a rare transmission, emphasized humanity's commitment to peace even as they prepared for continued conflict. "We did not seek this war," she declared, her voice steady and resolute. "But we will not shy away from defending our people and our place in the galaxy. Let this be a reminder to all. Humanity is not a species to be underestimated or provoked." Her words carried the weight of history, a reminder of Earth's long struggle to rise from the ashes of environmental collapse, war, and adversity to claim its place among the stars. The victory also served as a rallying cry for humanity. Across the colonies, citizens rallied behind their leaders, donating resources, volunteering for service, and doubling down on their efforts to support the war effort. Artists created stirring depictions of the battle, immortalizing the bravery of the edge of the horizon and its crew. Writers and poets captured the spirit of defiance that had carried humanity through its darkest hours. The sense of unity and purpose that had often eluded humanity in times of peace now burned brightly, fueled by the common goal of survival and self-determination. Yet, beneath the surface of triumph, there was a sobering realization. The cost of this war would be steep. The lives lost in the battle were mourned deeply, their sacrifices honored in solemn ceremonies across the colonies. Families who had lost loved ones found solace in the knowledge that their sacrifices had not been in vain. The war memorials that began to take shape were not just monuments to the fallen, but also reminders of the fragility of peace and the enduring strength of the human spirit. In the galactic political sphere, the repercussions of the battle were immediate. Other species in the assembly, some sympathetic to humanity and others wary of their growing power, began to reassess their alliances. The Gryans, humiliated but not defeated, regrouped, their leadership vowing to restore their dominance. For humanity, the challenge was clear. They had proven they could defend themselves, but maintaining their position in a galaxy filled with rival powers would require not just strength but also wisdom and resilience. As the human fleet regrouped and prepared for the next phase of the conflict, One thing was certain. Humanity's resolve was unyielding. The battle had shown that they were more than survivors. They were contenders, ready to carve out their destiny among the stars. For Captain Cade and her crew, the journey ahead was uncertain, but their purpose was clear. They would continue to fight, not out of a thirst for conquest, but from a deep, unshakable belief in their right to exist and thrive. In the vast expanse of space, where alliances shifted like the stars, humanity's story was still unfolding. The battle against the Gryans was a chapter that would be remembered for generations, a testament to the strength and determination of a species that refused to be extinguished. And as the edge of the horizon glided through the debris-strewn battlefield, its engines burning brightly against the void, it carried with it the hopes and dreams of a united humanity, a beacon of defiance in a galaxy that had underestimated its resolve.